gentlemen, turn your speakers up. It's time for the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE. Oh yeah! Let's meet the hosts. First, a man hailing from the Hub City in Indiana. He goes by @TooSweetKyle on Twitter. The host, Kyle Gagliardi. And your co-host, hailing from the Valley of Lake Tahoe. He goes by @JimTuck89 on Twitter. Jim Tucker. And last but not least, hailing from the cornfield somewhere in Indiana, the full-time part-timer, Ian Garavaglia. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram @PodOnTheMark.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM Kyle Gagliardi, and one of my co-hosts is my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
What's going on? People forget, that's a shout out to Otis. Just to remember the callback. That was Otis Tuck.
What was
Heavy
Tucker's
Machinery?
first name? Do we even
Tucker
remember?
Knight. Tucker was his first
Oh,
name.
it was his first
He
name.
was
Okay,
Tucker
see, I
Knight.
already forgot.
Yeah, thick daddy.
That's
Husky
right.
boy, big belly. What a guy. Hi, Ian.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, Ian's a co-host, too.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, I'm here, guys. I was really feeling it during the intro again. It's 2 weeks in a row, and I'm hyped up. I was very tired before this podcast, but here we are, and I'm excited now. So let's do it. I'm ready for the OTMmy.
You were playing with fire 2 minutes before we were on air, so
Literally.
New lighter.
yeah. Pyro Ian.
He is kind of like our child, isn't he?
New addition to his gimmick.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
Pyro Avelia.
Pyro, yeah.
Still Happy Ian, though. He's repping the Happy Ian. You haven't changed your gimmick in a couple months. That's new.
It's been a month or so. I got to figure out something else. We'll cook. We're cooking.
Still happy then, I guess, right?
Tune in next week to see Ian in eyeshadow and mascara.
I could do emo Ian.
Emo Avelia.
Emo Avelia. Ooh.
I'd pay good money to see that for sure. Disclaimer, my voice isn't 100%. I got a little bit of a cough, so if I get, raspy and stuff, you know why. You know what's going on over here. I got my throat lozenge ready to go. But Tucky, I haven't talked to you since the last time we recorded. Literally no text, no calls. What's new? How you doing? Good to see you.
Shout out to your throat, by the way.
Thanks.
Life is good. Another day in paradise. Let's see, 4 days next week until Christmas break, so counting down the days. AEW and WWE both just added shows around me within a month of the baby being born, so can't go to any of those.
Yeah.
Indifferent about this child so far. Really screwing with a lot of things that I was looking forward to, but also immense joy anytime I think about raising a son. In no time, the wrestling collection behind me will be passed on to him. So I had another baby appointment yesterday, smooth sailing, heartbeat. I felt like he gave me a high five yesterday through the belly, which was the first where I'm like,
Or a too sweet.
yeah, probably. He's got, like I said, I think I said last week, got him a bunch of WWE onesies. So
Yes.
LA Knight, NWO, Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, he's dripping. So
How does it feel knowing that collection is going to lose all of its value when he's born?
No, he's not gonna get to touch him until he's old enough to understand what he's doing. So
Fair.
like when he's born, if I were to buy him an Elite, I'll buy two. You play with one,
Smart.
or hopefully just hoe out with like the basics and just beat those up and understand that, so I did not have quite this collection when I was a child. It could all fit in like one tote. So
Yeah. You got quite the collection, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I know the comments have said in the past that you got the best podcast backdrop in the game right now. It's hard to argue with that. But Ian, I got to ask you a question. Tuck and I were talking before you jumped on. He said that I should probably move this new tapestry to the side.
Buddy, tapestry is what they say in
Tapestry,
our
correct.
It's tapestry, sorry.
Thank
There's
you.
no E in there, correct, after the P?
What? There is.
There is.
There
Then
is.
why would you pronounce it tapestry then?
Because you have consonants following the E, which makes the A short.
That's what I was going to say.
You know what? This is why you're an English teacher, right?
Sometimes I'm an English teacher. Sometimes I'm a psychologist. Sometimes I'm a 34-year-old guy questioning my life choices.
Right.
A little bit of everything. But teacher is kind of that umbrella. Yeah. A lot of shit.
I got you. But Ian, if anybody wanted to get this tapestry behind me, where would they do so?
They would do that on the markwrestlingpodcast.com is where they would do so. Where they could also get their ugly sweaters. And they could also get their beanie hats, whatever they called. Got the little ball on top.
Yeah.
For the holiday season.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff over there. So
and if they're lucky, you know what else they can get?
What's that?
D's nuts.
Got him!
Nope. Hold on. For legal purposes, you cannot get Tuck's D's nuts.
Those nuts.
Those nuts. Why is that copyrighted from Eddie Kingston or something?
I don't know.
Like you can't promise somebody that you can go buy something. You can't buy it.
Did Ian's audio just get very weird for you, or is it just me?
Yeah, as soon as he started talking legal jargon, he got ciphered there. You did get filtered. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened either. But let's run to the comments because they're overflowing right now. Robbie said, hashtag OTMmies. Also, quick happy birthday to Kine. I think he's sleeping, but I don't know. So, happy birthday, Kine, from OTM to you. I guess you're not going to be winning the MVM.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yep.
Robbie's a big fan of the tapestry behind me. He said it is nice. Even Eric Douglas is already singing with arms wide open.
With arms wide open.
Ian, I think we were listening to some Creed last weekend.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Scott Stapp making a comeback solo album.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Let's get him in the Super Bowl, man. Bring him back. Dirk Vogus in the house. Good evening, boys. Dirk, thanks for stopping by, as always. Robbie said, beer batter Garvalia with an added lighter when you buy the premium version. See, that we already got your figure figured out.
Yeah, we can get him the Supreme. He'll have the lighter with him. What other gimmicks?
That's a good question.
An OTM soft goods T-shirt, obviously, to put on the figure.
A bag of chips with some ranch dip.
Ranch dip, thank God, not ranch dressing. That was weird.
Yeah, that was a weird pre-pod conversation we had.
Yeah, because you think you know people, and they say shit like that, and then you're like, I don't know.
I just said ranch, to be fair.
Right.
Ranch
No,
can
that's
go
what I'm
anyway.
saying.
Yeah.
That's
I
what I'm
could
saying.
put ranch seasoning on like that little the powder package you can get.
Yeah.
That could have been that.
You could.
Could have been anything.
That is an option. And also, guys, don't forget to show some love to the Main Event Wrestling Network. We just had some exciting news. Yes, it is poppin', Tucky. Last night, we officially acquired the Wrestling Junkies podcast, and it is a great addition, folks. Go check out the guys over there. We're going to be collaborating with them in the future, of course, and I know there's a new episode of the Turnbuckle Talk Zone from Robbie Collins and Kine out right now. You can find all of that on the social media accounts at mainevent_net. A lot of good stuff going on over there. Of course, OTM, the flagship show, correct, Tucky? We are numero uno.
And now that we've got some content creators joining the Main Event Wrestling Network, I think our PLE predictions and things like that will become more interesting.
Correct.
What podcast gets the belt? Do we do a Main Event Wrestling Network title?
I think we might have to. I think you're onto something there.
And we're gonna have to figure out, because I don't know that every pod has 3 guys, right?
No, the rest have 2. We're the only ones with 3.
Well, maybe we put something out where we rotate the 3 of us. One show, 2 of us make picks, and then 1 doesn't. But we'll run our own
team action.
Yeah, we can run our own picks as well if we want. It's not.
We can have the best of both worlds. That's the beauty of being a co-host with the person that runs the Main Event Wrestling Network. We can do whatever the hell we want. So.
And put it out in the Discord. Maybe somebody can design us a digital title, like
Yeah.
like we have for the MVM. I think that would be cool.
That would be, and I think Pat Novacell in our Discord could definitely take care of that for us. Which, by the way, if you want to join the Discord, just reach out to us. We will send you a link. But guys, before we talk about the potential nominees that we are going to have for our 7 categories, I think we need to at least discuss the big topic that came out of Monday Night Raw, and that, of course, CM Punk officially signing with Monday Night Raw. That wasn't really that surprising, but what happened after he signed the contract, we heard Seth Rollins' music hit, and we got the confrontation that we have been looking forward to ever since Punk showed up at Survivor Series. Tuck, it was about a 10-minute back and forth, mainly more from Rollins' side of things, but I think a lot of what Seth was saying was very justified.
Absolutely, and credit to Seth Rollins if there is actual beef, right? A professional knows where the money is, a compelling story. Both guys are great on the mic. This is the direction, right? It's Punk and Rollins to get us going here on WWE Punk 2.0.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are here for it. Ian, I know you didn't watch Raw live, correct?
Correct. I did see the Punk and Rollins segment.
What was your overall thoughts on that?
I'm happy. I'm happy in the fact what I saw in the ring was very entertaining. Both guys let them take their shots at one another. That was one thing I was really happy about. It wasn't a kind of like an actual argument kind of thing. It felt like they actually had something cooked. It wasn't just kind of fly by the seat of their pants sort of situation and just kind of let any argument pop off the top of their mind. And you could kind of see both sides with what they're arguing. I mean, Rollins is not wrong. I kind of wonder where they're going to go with who's the heel in this case. I'm going to be a Rollins situation as the heel, but
I don't think you need heel babyface in a feud like this. I don't think that needs to be set in stone. You know what I'm saying? Like, let the crowd do whatever they want to do. And you kind of heard that in the promo because while Seth was saying these things, like, this is not your home. You went away and you bashed this home that you so call it. And I mean, he's 100% correct with that statement, but you heard in the background about half the crowd singing along to Seth's song, and then you still got the CM Punk chants talk. I think everywhere outside of Chicago, you're going to probably see that split reaction going forward.
Well, and, it's one of those situations, Usos, Street Profits, both teams run out. We're dancing and cheering, hyping both tag teams up, and we wanted to just see them go to war, and they delivered more often than not. And I think that's what we're going to get out of Punk and Rollins too. Interested to see if this is a one-off to get Punk going, or if this becomes a trilogy, i.e.
Yeah, and Robbie asked Seth's best promo ever. I don't know if that's the case, but we've talked about in the past, Ian, using realism, things that come from real life into stories really just elevates feuds.
I mean, it's really hard to fake actual tension. There has been a lot of talk over the years since CM Punk has left WWE. Seth Rollins has let his opinions be known about how he feels about him during interviews. And as long as they bleed it out to the main stage and don't let things actually boil over, I would hope backstage they actually talked about everything and are kind of at an agreement. They don't have to be friends. It's just an agreement of where they're at in life and professionally.
Do business.
Yeah, exactly. And I have no doubt that they will. The only person I would have an issue with is Punk in that case.
Recent history would say that, but from what we've been seeing, not just on screen, you see it off screen as well. And there's reports, I don't know the validity of it, that CM Punk wants to potentially take over NXT or work for NXT. He's also hanging out with NXT talent. We saw the picture emerge of Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. I mean, we don't know for sure, Tuck, but it definitely seems on social media and on our screen that CM Punk is here to do good business, and that's what we hoped for.
He's definitely off on the right foot. I think there may be some out there acting, he's treading in uncertain waters, or how authentic or genuine is it? We don't know, but he's definitely making those bids, the good guy bids, company man. I'm more aware of who he is and his status and position within the company. So I like to see it.
I think we all would, Tucky. The real question is, now that we know he has signed with Raw, declared for the Royal Rumble, does CM Punk become the Rumble favorite in your eyes, Ian?
No, this makes me think that Rollins or Punk will not win this. They've done a really good job before with extending feuds during Royal Rumbles. I don't know how they're going to do it this time, but it has to eventually lead to WrestleMania. That's where I see it right now.
Right.
I still
You
think
can't do it
Cody
at the
Rhodes
Rumble.
wins it. Correct, yeah.
I'm in agreement with you, and I actually, spoiler alert, I did a video for SDW, the wrestling channel, and he asked me who I thought was going to win the Rumble, and I still am on Cody because Punk and Rollins are still on the same brand. We know they're both Monday Night Raw superstars. Where's Cody's path? Because Cody currently sits on Raw, Roman Reigns sits on SmackDown. I've seen people try to book Elimination Chamber, matchups here, but I think that would be kind of tough to tell that story, especially if they're trying to, say Raw superstars stay here and SmackDown are over here. They can't interact. It's going to be difficult, wouldn't it be?
Yep, Rhodes is going to win it.
Oh, so we're all on the same page as
if I was a betting man, it makes sense. That's the only way he can get back to Roman in my eyes.
I totally agree
with it. Like fitting canon, if the two brands are separate, they've got two separate managers, a little bit more of a sporty feel with the free agent and who's signing who and things like that. I think it's got to be Cody. But I do agree with Vogus. The Rumble is stacked.
Both sides have the potential to be very good, especially with the women's. I think there's a lot of candidates. I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite, but we could talk about that all in the coming weeks. Let's get to Robbie's comment, and then we'll move on. He said, something tells me Punk will win the Rumble. I think Cody gets to Roman another way. I don't know what way, but he'll get to Roman. And that's the question we have is what way is Cody going to get to Roman? That's why I think we are leaning towards Cody Rhodes. But yeah, all in all, good stuff there from CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
Can I have a Rumble question real quick?
Go for it.
Has anyone ever won the Royal Rumble in their debut for WWE?
I don't think so. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Why are you thinking of Jade Cargill?
Yeah, on the women's side, like that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What if you don't see any trace of Jade Cargill till the Royal Rumble? I think that's
what we're gonna get. I think that's what we're getting.
Oh, if she wins it, I don't hate
that's strapping a rocket very fast.
That's a lot of trust.
It's a compelling move, how much I think it's how has she done at the Performance Center, how much stock do they have in her? But that is new, that is exciting. It's a different story. It's not Charlotte Flair winning. Something like that.
Which, by the way, I hope Charlotte's okay. Does anybody know anything about her injury that she suffered from last week?
I can talk to my people and see if I can come up with something.
Source. Go to the well, because I don't think I've seen anything. And of course, the Ilya Dragunov stuff is being questioned as well. Is that a work? Is it not? I'm not sure on that front as well, so I'm not going to speak on that. But while Tucky's looking it up, I think Ian's looking up some history too on the Royal Rumble. I'll just give you an overlay of what we're about to do here. So the OTMmies, if you did not know, year-end professional wrestling award show that we do here at OTM, and we have 7 categories, 4 nominees, and us 3 will decide those nominees. And then once those are established here today, we will send out a link, and everybody will have the opportunity to vote on their winner because we let our listeners decide. It is not our final decision. Any luck over there, boys?
Oh, a lot, actually.
What do you got over there?
There is a lot. So the wrestlers to win the Royal Rumble match in the first appearance, Alberto Del Rio, Big John.
But that's their first appearance in the Rumble. I think Tuck was saying, debut in the company at the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles did it, but he didn't win it.
That's a lot of research.
That might be the only. Yeah, that might be too much research. But AJ Styles would be an answer for your question then, Tuck.
What?
What does he got over there?
Ronda Rousey? Did she debut in the Royal Rumble? No, it was after
WrestleMania.
No, that was a tag at Mania.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, never mind.
With Kurt Angle?
I'm not sure.
Against Triple H and Stephanie?
Oh yeah, that's when the debut was
right?
for Ronda. Yeah, it was actually a very good one too.
Charlotte Flair could be months.
Oh, so they don't know exactly what the injury is, but they're
No,
just
but
saying
they are making plans for her to not be there for the foreseeable future. I don't think she factors into Rumble plans at this point.
I just hope she's there for Mania, because a WrestleMania without Charlotte Flair would be a travesty.
Question.
In my opinion. Yeah.
Did Shinsuke debut on the main roster during the Royal Rumble?
No.
Never mind.
I don't think so. No, I think he made a debut on
Never
SmackDown.
mind.
He had a violin guy, violinist, I think that's the word, playing for him, and that's when he made his debut on Blue Brand. But yeah, I'd say we get into our nominees here then. Let's start with the men's breakout star. And of course, if you guys want to help out, throw out some names that we could maybe put as a nominee in this category, please feel free to share in the comments section. But when we go to men's breakout star, I think there's a lot of obvious names. And I think we could easily cross one off right away. The megastar LA Knight. Are we in agreement on that one?
Correct. Yes, he was on my list.
I mean, he didn't really do much outside of winning the Slim Jim Battle Royal, but he did have a match with Roman Reigns. That's got to be worth something, right, guys?
I mean, he built himself over the year. And even by building himself, he didn't really even do that. He just became himself. Whatever his Dupree name was.
Max Dupree.
And came back. And as soon as he announced himself as LA Knight, it won over the crowd. And he's skyrocketed himself, obviously with creative as well. But again, who knows what the foreseeable future shows for him.
So that's a slam dunk pick. We're definitely going to put LA Knight as one of the nominees for the men's breakout award. Robbie does have a question for us. He said, do you think maybe Bayley's face turn could change with that Flair news? I don't know, but I thought Bayley would have made a team to take down Damage Control and maybe Flair would have been involved. I don't think it will change whatsoever.
I think it makes it a little bit more important.
Right.
If Charlotte Flair's not in the picture, there is a gap. So I think it might make it more important. They might change the plan. I don't think it's a worse situation for Bayley, in my opinion.
That's a good point there, Tucky. With how the crowd is attracted to LA Knight, he's definitely up there. So Robbie's in agreement as well. We're going to put LA Knight in. Ian, is there a name that stood out to you on your list for men's breakout that you would like to throw out there?
Okay, so when I broke down my lists of categories, I wanted to try to split it AEW, WWE as much as I could. I
do that too.
But with this category, it was very WWE oriented. And I think there are three names. I'm going to throw out these three names because I think they are all in the same contention and same kind of stratosphere.
Okay.
I have Trick Williams on there.
He's in my top 4. Tuck, do you agree with that?
Yep.
Braun Breaker, who just came off 362 days as NXT champion.
Tuck, I don't know if you're going to agree with me. I'm going to counter that. I think Braun Breaker was more of a breakout last year.
Okay.
I think his breakout was more arguable last year. He feels established to me as well.
Okay.
But you are close. We're not going to put him in there, but I like it.
And my last one was also Carmelo Hayes, but I think he also broke out last year as well. He was kind of my honorable mention area. But I did have another name from WWE, unless you guys want me to hold off.
I'm going to pull it up because it's the name I was going to say. Vogus commented it. Dom Mysterio. Mm-hmm. Has to be in there, right?
Yes. That was
because before 2023, he was this corny babyface son of Rey Mysterio with no personality. And you could argue that he's probably the MVP of the WWE in 2023.
It's hard to argue. Hard to argue against.
He's on every show, Tuck. NXT, SmackDown, Raw. He's been everywhere.
I'm just thinking. I can think.
I'm just trying to persuade you to put Dom in the... Can we put Dom as nominee here?
Oh, 1,000,000%. Yeah.
Ian, you in agreement?
I'm in agreement.
All right, so we got 3 of the 4 right here. I have an AEW name in mind. I'm curious if you guys have the same name.
Do you want me to say mine? Because my last name's an AEW name.
Tuck, can you think of an AEW person that we might be thinking of?
A breakout star in AEW. Okay.
Very hot right now.
He's so hot right now.
Yeah. We're on the same page. We're on the same page.
Oh, oh yeah.
It's got to be Swerve Strickland out of AEW.
Yeah, I didn't. His star is almost too big right now to be a breakout star. But when you think about it, where was he in January?
That's my point.
He was, Keith Lee's tag team partner.
And the crowd wasn't liking it after a couple months.
Well, because it was ass.
It was
the thing was, it wasn't that bad. It was just like I think it was kind of we understood where Swerve could be if he turned on Keith Lee, which is exactly what happened.
So is that a good final four right there?
I think so.
Dom Mysterio, LA Knight, Swerve Strickland, and Trick Williams. We gonna finalize it?
I've got a half-point honorable mention after we stamp those four.
Okay.
As Ian did. Ian, one more time, please.
I'm washing it off.
No, go ahead. No, I need you to stamp it.
Stamp?
Okay, got that stamped. Dragon Lee.
Very hot, honorable mention.
Late. Little hot, little late.
I don't think he's fully broken out, though. That would be my argument to it. I think
great 2024 candidate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he had a match at Survivor Series, so he's obviously on their radar. So there it is. There's the nominees. You will be able to vote on either Dom Mysterio, LA Knight, Swerve Strickland, or Trick Williams for Men's Breakout Star of the Year. Let's move on over to the women's side of things. Ian, I do think there is one that stands out for me personally, and she's in NXT.
Okay, I think we're on the same page. I will say it. Oh, no.
I think Tuck knows who it is as well. Tuck, if you were to think of NXT, who really was the star in the women's division for them this year?
The star in the women's division for NXT was Tiffany Stratton.
Yep.
Oh, stamp that one in.
Stamp that.
All right, Tiffany Stratton. We don't even need to talk about it because she had phenomenal matches with Becky Lynch in NXT. She's like a woman amongst girls down there.
Because no one matches her skills, her style, or her. I can't remember what she says, but that
you were close.
Is annoying.
Well, and the thing is too is like she took that championship, which during 2.0 the women's stars were like kind of just eye candy at that point, and she kind of broke away from that mold, and it was almost another revolution in the NXT division.
Oh, she didn't break away from eye candy. She's still in that mold, she's the total package. So
can I say my next one because it builds off of Tiffany Stratton?
Let's hear it.
I think another breakout. She went from nothing to something, and it was kind of more recent. But I'm gonna say Lyra Valkyria.
In my top four, no arguments. When you look at NXT, that this year was a lot of veterans coming down to help the ladies. Tiffany Stratton and Lyra was right there. Tucky, what are your thoughts on Lyra Valkyria? I know you don't get to watch often, but she's the champ right now.
Yeah, and I think she's earned it. I don't know if I love the gimmick, but yeah, I'm in.
Okay, Vogus, you found one person in the 2.0 that wasn't mid. He goes, Mandy wasn't mid. I'm sure you can find a couple more too, like Roxanne and Cora aren't mid.
I was gonna say she was not losing the championship. Mandy was not losing the championship to anybody but Tiffany Stratton.
So Robbie says Tiffany 100%. He proposes Kiana James, maybe just a bit too early.
I'd say a bit
Robbie,
too early.
It's close though. She's starting to become something. So we got Tiffany Stratton, we got Lyra. Tuck, you're okay with Lyra in there?
Oh yeah.
So I have two AEW women as my other two, Ian. Ooh. What about you?
I have two AEW women as well.
You go first. Name your one. Name the top one.
I will go with the AEW talent. It's Athena. I think she has been arguably one of the best women's wrestlers of this year. She's been a defending champ. As much as we haven't been able to see her, every single week she has had a viral clip go out about what she has been doing in ROH.
Is it viral if I have never seen one of those clips?
I have the same question.
You're seeing them. I'm not.
I guess that could be a wild card selection. I'm going to
pass on that one. Tuck. Okay.
Yeah, that's a downvote from me, dog.
Okay, but
Not-
if she was shown on TV,
because-
then maybe.
I'd agree.
Because I haven't seen her enough. That's my biggest
Okay.
negative point again. I don't know.
Vogus jumping right ahead of me every time when I'm about to say mine, and he's right. Obviously, Julia Hart.
It's my fourth. Correct.
She's so hard right now.
Guess you could say that. That joke landed like Kenny Omega's joke in his segment last night on Dynamite.
We don't need to talk about that.
What was the joke?
It wasn't good. I'll tell you what, and this might be a hot take. I think Kenny Omega is not good on the mic. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not a big Kenny Omega mic guy.
Well, he says good night and adieu.
That part of the promo is really awkward, too.
Very awkward. So, do we all agree on Julia then?
Yes,
Yeah.
she was my fourth.
Doing some fantastic stuff, now the TBS champion. So there's one more spot remaining. I have a name in mind. Is there anybody that you guys can think of off the top of the dome?
Well, my honorable mention outside of Athena was, I'm pretty sure, your last selection from AEW. We know her. She is a Chicago native. It's Sky Blue.
She was my fourth pick on my top four. Anybody else you can think of, Tucky, or you think that's solid?
This is like my weakest division, like my weakest award category.
And by the way, the joke did land for Vogus, but he'll laugh at anything Tuck says, so we get that going for you.
Okay, we're easy.
So the four we have. So by the way, my four have been spot on.
I'm not going to apologize for being his friend. We're friends.
I'm not. Don't apologize.
I'm not.
ELE, everybody love everyone. You know, I'm all for it.
I'm down for that.
So the four nominees we have: Julia Hart, Tiffany Stratton, Sky Blue, and Lyra Valkyria. That one might be the closest vote. That's tough.
Hey, is Sky Blue a breakout star because everybody likes her butt though?
That's why, genuinely, that's why she was my honorable mention. I don't think
Vogus,
she really has a character that she's dove into yet.
Vogus kind of is agreeing with what you guys are saying. I don't think she's broken out yet. I'd say Tony has broken out more, but my counter to that would be Tony was already a big deal in AEW. Sure, this character is a lot better, but I feel like she still was one of the stars.
Tony Storm might be the comeback player of the year. Like,
Great.
in it, not in the best position in AEW, and she's the best thing about the women's division.
She's made the most out of it. Correct.
Yeah.
We're gonna stick with those four, but yeah, it's a fair point there, Vogus. I appreciate the feedback. So let's move on over then to Tag Team of the Year, which I had a lot of troubles coming up with tag teams, Ian. I don't know about you.
Very much. Honestly, I wish it was Faction of the Year, Faction/Tag Team of the Year. That would have made it a little bit more interesting, but I worked with what I could do.
Tuck, do you think we could change it this year? Or are we gonna stick to what we do?
What?
To Tag Team/Faction of the Year, maybe?
Just Team of the Year.
Oh, well, I think Faction can get its own category.
I'd agree.
We'll workshop adding more categories. We'll get back to the audience on that.
But I do think there's enough there are great tag teams. It's not tag team breakout. It's what tag teams had great years. There are options because there are some tag teams that might have only been a tag team for part of this year that could actually win the turn. You know, Sami Zayn and KO.
So those two were on my list, Tuck.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can put Sami and KO in there now?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, they don't have to be a tag team right now, but the tag team of the year. And when you have you only have one set of straps in WWE right now.
True.
Cody and Jay, probably not.
Well, think of who actually has those straps right now.
Judgment Day.
They should be on there, correct?
I do have them on there because I figured they have never been really used as a trios kind of match. It's always been they select two, no matter what. It's kind of like
it's always Priest and Balor whenever they go for titles.
I felt like it was like a New Day situation,
like a Freebird kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll put Judgment Day on there as well.
Yes.
So Judgment Day, KO and Sami. Ian, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh wait, let me answer Robbie's question first. Sorry to cut you off. Yes, Robbie, female tag teams count as well.
But it's one award.
One award. I do have a female tag team as one of the nominees, actually.
What? I do not.
It's the only tag team they've had for all year.
So my last two are AEW tag team.
Let's hear it.
One, I think this one's a pretty good grab. It's better than you, baby.
Ooh.
That's a tag team right there. And they're still ROH champions.
Yeah.
Think about it for a
Tuck,
second.
he might be onto something here. I didn't even think about that.
I'm down with that.
I mean, they've been carrying him for the last 6 months.
So let me throw my two that I wasn't sure on, and we'll say who's better. Chelsea and Piper, better than you, Bay before them.
Yeah.
And I had the Creed brothers on there as well.
I do have another AEW tag team that might change your mind. Tuck, when you thought about the breakout tag team of the year, you said there might not be breakout tag teams. I defer. The Gun Club.
That's not the word you're looking for.
Well,
differ.
English teacher coming in here.
The Gun Club.
Defer means you're not making a choice. I defer. What about the guns?
Yep. The Gun Club, though, they've been a breakout. And
go get your tapestry. Sorry, go on with the Gun Club.
School ended 3 hours ago.
No, I would say the Gun Club, because even though they are with the Bullet Club Gold at the moment, I think they really made their name for themselves over the year, especially because they've been AEW tag champions. And I don't know if it was this year or not.
They were.
Well, there you go. Even better. So
we'll put Better Than You, Bebe in there for sure. So we have Judgment Day, KO and Sammy, and Better Than You, Bebe. So essentially three makeshift tag teams that happened this year in a way. A Jace, I guess you could say, to pull from Cheap Heat on that list right there. The last one I had was just kind of by default. They're just there and they're doing okay things. I had FTR as a nominee. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, who else can you think of?
Yeah.
Again, Gun Club was the only thing I come up with. I didn't even think about FTR this year.
So talk
we don't want
between
to talk about
Gun Club,
Raiders, Alpha Academy, Street Profits, Private Party, The Acclaimed. They were hot.
Acclaimed were
Acclaimed.
Ooh.
You're welcome.
That is true. Acclaimed.
So between the Acclaimed, FTR, and the Gun Club, you say Acclaimed.
Yeah.
Focus's comment.
He said no love for Indus here, huh? You know, Vogus, they just didn't get on TV enough.
Honorable mention.
Honorable at the bottom.
They went viral every week, like Ian said, but just didn't see him enough. So honorable mention.
All right, everybody loves the Acclaim, so we're gonna put them as our fourth and final nominee. So we have Judgment Day, KO and Sammy, Better Than You, Bebe, and the Acclaimed. Another interesting category there. We got three more to discuss. We'll save the big ones for the last two. Match of the year. This one, I had a list of about 20 on my notes in my phone, and I struggled to narrow it down. Tuck, I'll let you go first here. I know you didn't have time to brainstorm anything, but I know there's probably a match that stands out to you that you might have been in attendance for on the biggest stage of them all.
And we're doing men's and women's?
Everything, just all match of the year. Yep.
I think we could do both this year.
Do you want to do a men's and a women's category for match of the year?
I think it makes it easier because Rhea versus Charlotte goes to my mind right away.
That's on my top four.
Swerve and Hangman Texas Death Match goes to my mind right away.
In my top four.
And you could argue that both of those are really great. And we haven't talked about any of the other matches that happened all freaking year. And you already have a men's and a women's strong candidate. I think you could do men's and women's match of the year. Comments? Anybody?
Comments, let us know. Should we do separate categories for men's match of the year and women's match of the year? But those were two good shouts. I know we already said on the podcast, we're putting Swerve and Hangman's death match on the list, correct?
Correct.
So we'll pencil that one in. Ian, how do you feel about Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania?
Obviously an incredible match. I thought Charlotte died during that match, and yet she lost, but it was an incredible match.
Vogus said he wants us to struggle to pick, so he shut down that idea, I think.
Okay, men's and women's it is.
I have 2 women's matches and 2 men's in my top 4. So I think it's pretty balanced enough where there was so many good women's and men's matches that we could try to get it down to this one category. Robbie asks, what about Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew at WrestleMania? It's another good shout.
My top 4.
It's not my top 4, but it's definitely one of my matches of the year. Tuck, do you think that match is good enough to be a nominee?
I guess doesn't it depend on what the other fourth potential is, and then
I think there's better matches.
Like I think what we did with the tag teams. Okay, this one is definitely it. This one's definitely it. And then is this one better than this one? Okay, this one stays. Is it better? And I think we're just
and it's all subjective too.
We might have to trickle it down. Like match of the year might need a rubric, like an actual
right.
chart of like. It was the right amount of time, told the right amount of story, had the right amount of styles. But there's no one formula because you can see a super highly athletic spot fest. It's match of the year, and then you could see some matches with so much story you almost don't need them to hit each other, like the Sami Zayn era of the Bloodline that happened this year. Yeah. Incredible matches, but nothing athletically significant to say like, oh my God, that was so impressive. So this one's always a knockout.
It's tough. And 2023 was a good year. Ian, before you go, I have to say hi to my mom. She brought me into this world. Hello, Mother. Thanks for stopping by. There's the claps.
Always.
Go ahead now, Ian. Mom comes first. Sorry.
Robbie's last comment, this was in my top 4. It was the MJF versus Bryan Danielson Iron Man match at Revolution this year. That was the first match I thought about because that was a match. It was a marathon, and it proved MJF is a good wrestler. This was his first match, besides the dog collar match with CM Punk. This was his first match that really made him a staple in the wrestling ring. We knew he was a good character before then, but this really made him as a ring.
Man,
you guys like fun facts?
Sure.
I had tickets to AEW Revolution, if you remember.
Oh yeah,
and didn't fucking go. The weather was shit. It was the right decision. I have a child on the way now. I could have died.
Man.
Yep.
So Ian, trust me, I have that match on my list. I'm not sure if I'm ready to pull the trigger. Are we good on Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair? Or are we still gonna brainstorm a little bit more?
I think that one's up in the contention. Another match I had in my top 4. I mean, I thought it was low-hanging fruit. I'm surprised it didn't even get brought up yet. It's Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. I know you guys were there in person for the ending. And ending ruined it for you?
I didn't think the match was that great to begin with. I just thought it was good.
Ooh.
It's not even sniffing my top 25.
So here's the thing. I knew this would come up because I think
Bogus still my one again, by the way. That was on my list.
Okay. You're the one that puts it on the screen. You could always say it first and then say,
no, I want to give him credit. I'm giving him credit.
Can I speak?
No, you're shitting on him.
That's not what I was doing.
You're like, Bogus, you little thief. Ian, go ahead, bud.
Thank you. I knew this was going to pop up because I put this in my top 4 because this was an incredible match on TV. You guys were there in person, and obviously you were very disappointed. And I knew that was going to play a part into this. So I wonder if other people... That's fair.
I almost did.
I wonder if people that were at home watching the WrestleMania pay-per-view and watching the main event and watching Cody Rhodes lose, if it ruined it for them as well. Because I still thought it was an incredible match.
It's
there were
not
shenanigans,
the top
right?
4 for me. Yeah, there were.
I just don't I don't like the matches with all the shenanigans.
I have no Roman Reigns match in close to the top 4. I shouldn't say that.
Been a match of the year candidate.
He probably has, but I shouldn't say that because Sammy versus Roman Reigns was probably my favorite match that Roman had this year. I think Vogus is onto something here with Ospreay versus Omega at Forbidden Door. Like if you're going like bell to bell in ring stuff, I don't think there was a better match.
I'd agree. Yeah. If you're throwing Ospreay and Omega into a match, it's going to be incredible. There's no even questioning it.
Do we want to put that one in?
I think this category is so up for contention. I really do. I will say yes.
Question.
I know. I will say yes.
Do you want to expand the candidate pool to 6 nominees?
I would agree with that.
They expanded the college football playoff, and it can't be worse. It cannot be worse.
All right.
So 12?
We won't solidify the nominees tonight, but we will make it 6, and we will talk about it off the podcast. How's that sound?
Are we done talking about great matches, though? I mean, we got a minute.
Yeah, sure, we got a minute, but I'm surprised nobody brought up Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton at NXT No Mercy. Oh, that was the best women's match of the year. And then you had Becky Lynch versus Trish in a steel cage. That match was phenomenal.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I have. I'm just going to start naming off matches.
You could do men's and women's. That's it. The other option. You have 3 compelling women's matches right there.
You could pick any of the Hayes Dragunov matches too.
That is.
What
true.
about not the Iron Survivor? What was the War Games match? That was match of the night. That match was dope.
The women's or the men's?
The women's.
I was gonna say I like the women's more. You could put that in there. Yeah.
So like you either do 6 candidates or you do one of each. I think you have enough to do both. But then
Can we just do a March Madness.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We can talk. I mean,
they call me Jimmy Brackets. I'm a big bracket guy. Okay, I think we go 32 teams. I think we break them up into divisions. I think that's what the podcast is next week. The OTM selection show. We have a bracket. I think this is great.
Oh boy,
that could be something.
It
might happen.
Or we do it if we do it over the week of Christmas. Like if we start on the 22nd, I'm on Christmas break. Like we can go to work.
We could. A lot of things we're gonna have to discuss.
Current subject to change.
Any other matches you guys wanted to throw out though before we put a pin in that category?
Put a pin in it. Stamp it.
Gunther Miz sneaky good match. I think another thing to think about a TV match of the year. That could be another subcategory.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say another TV match of the year, Gunther Gable, because that was.
Oh, that was good too.
The second one.
Vegas wants me to start naming matches.
Oh God.
Start naming matches, Kyle.
Do you want me to just look at my phone and see what I have?
Yep.
Christian versus Darby Allin, Wrestle Dream.
No.
Becky Lynch versus Trish at Payback. MJF versus Adam Cole at All In.
Yes.
I mean, that was another great match.
That was dope. Even with the gimmick knee, when they set you up for it to be probably maybe kind of a shitty match, and it wasn't.
There's too many choices. Robbie's right. Moxley versus Paige, Texas Death Match at Revolution.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Ospreay versus Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 17. That was one of the first days of the year, but that still was a great match.
Yeah. Watch that live. Waiting on Mercedes Moné.
Oh yeah, that's
right. Oh my gosh.
At like 1
I forgot about that.
It was like 3 a.m. or something. I set a wonky alarm. I was like, I'm here. I don't know why I got like so much Mercedes Moné buzz to like figure out a Japanese website to watch it. I cared a lot.
Hey, at least you didn't have to pay any money.
Well, and then I that was where I learned about her debut in San Jose. So I got to see her at Battle in the Valley.
You did get to see that match. Who'd she face again? Was it Kyrie?
Yeah.
Oh, now Kyrie's in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, there's 3 more categories. I lied and I didn't even put it on the doc. Pay-per-view of the year I did not put on the outline here. I think WrestleMania Night 1 has to be there.
For sure.
So we can agree on that, right, Ian?
Yes.
Night 2. Not Night 2. Night 1.
I was just doing. I mean, WrestleMania is its own pay-per-view. I wasn't.
I think I would split it in nights. Because
I think you have to.
I think you have to as well now because it's 2 separate days of full cards.
Are you paying 2 separate times though?
You can.
Wait, no, but you're paying. You can buy a 2-day pass, or you can buy tickets to each individual night. And I would argue that WWE provides one PLE a year and you like your monthly cost doesn't change. So there's the argument that it should be one PLE, but I think if, especially like there's a lot of WrestleManias where there's good enough wrestling on both nights. If you have two fair nights, it would make one pay-per-view of the year potentially.
Yeah.
So I'd like to separate them.
I vote for the separating as well.
Mhm.
I think what Robbie's saying here, this one was on my list. What do you guys think about WWE's Backlash in Puerto Rico?
Backlash
four.
was dope.
Top 4 for you, Ian?
Yep.
Mhm.
Tuck, you cool with that?
Yep.
Okay. Ian, was there an AEW pay-per-view that stood out?
Like
above the rest?
if I can remember what I was doing for that pay-per-view, that makes me think it's special. I was like, I know exactly where I watched that one.
Right.
That was a night.
Yeah,
And that was WWE Backlash in Orange County, California, the night before the worst marathon I've ever run.
And that was arguably the greatest entrance of all time when Bad Bunny came out. Just absolutely insane. But Ian, AEW pay-per-view, which one stood out above the rest for you?
So this was the category that I had 2 and 2. WWE to AEW. My first one that I picked, I mean, obviously, I think it's the low-hanging fruit for AEW. AEW All In. It was the highest grossing or most tickets sold for a London pay-per-view, and it delivered. This was CM Punk's last match in AEW, and we got Ospreay versus Kenny Omega again, and this was Ospreay versus Chris Jericho.
That's right.
And it delivered as well. A lot of matches top to bottom, and I thought was incredible.
It's in the conversation for me. I don't know if I'm ready to pull the trigger yet. Let me throw one back at you, and then we can compare them. I thought AEW Revolution was a better pay-per-view than All In. I thought AEW Revolution had 2 match of the year candidates, and that's kind of what takes it to the next level.
I was very upset that I had to watch that from home. And that card kind of snuck up to greatness, in my opinion, the Revolution card.
Oh,
yeah, because the building did not sell well, but the card was just really impressive. I thought it over-delivered. So I lean towards Revolution as well. All In was a spectacle.
Yeah.
But
it did have good matches, though. Ian, it's close for me. It's in the top 6.
That's fair. I was going to say Revolution, and the thing is, I don't think they had any big surprises. I think
standard card.
Yeah, no, they didn't have any. I was trying to think of anybody they debuted, and they did not have anybody.
Robbie, I have this on my list. Forbidden Door was good. I just don't know if it's top 4.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree?
You want me to read you the match card from AEW Revolution?
Yeah, let's hear it, because I thought it was a great show.
It was a great show. I do agree. The kickoff, who cares about that? Absolute Ricky Starks versus the Ocho Chris Jericho.
Okay.
The last burial match, Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. That was
Very
dope.
good. Very good.
Pretty good.
World Trios Championship, the Elite versus House of Black.
Also good.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Women's World Championship, Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, Ruby Soho, and Soraya.
It was okay.
That was Moxley Hangman Texas Death Match.
Great match.
Samoa Joe versus Wardlow for the TNT Championship. The AEW World Tag Team Champions Championship, the Guns, the Acclaimed, Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett. And
I think that was the low point of the show.
Yeah, probably.
It was fine. Could have been better. And then the World Championship Iron Man match, MJF, Bryan Danielson.
Which was top tier.
Hell of a show. And it wasn't hung on a big surprise or debut.
Right. So, Ian, you were right. And I agree with Vogus. All Out was better than All In. I really, truly believe that.
Is it because we were there?
Maybe. I think
Okay.
that's a fair counter, but I think there's other people that might agree with that. So, are we good with AEW Revolution being a candidate then?
Yes.
So we have 3. We got WrestleMania, AEW Revolution, WWE Backlash. We've thrown out Forbidden Door. We've thrown out All In. Ian, was there anything else? Tuck, can you think of anything? Because I do have a few, but I don't want to say them yet.
I also had AEW Full Gear. I thought AEW Full Gear, we even talked about it. It was the most, even the women's matches, even though the titles flipped hands for both matches, we were involved and we were really cheering on what was going on in the ring, which is surprising for a women's match in AEW. We were actually really invested. So that's what kind of kept me into it. That was one of my top 4 as well. That was my other AEW match, or AEW pay-per-view.
Let me present what I'm thinking.
Do you want me to? I have the All Out and All In cards up. If you want to compare those as an option, Kyle, you say things.
We don't need to compare them. I think they're both out. I don't think we need to talk about them that much. Let me throw this out there then. Night of Champions. This was a big show because we got the debut of the World Heavyweight title. We saw Styles versus Rollins, which was a very good match. Seth Rollins obviously winning that. You had Becky versus Trish, which was fantastic as well. I mean, you had Mustafa Ali versus Gunther. It wasn't a long match, but it was still good. Bianca and Asuka probably put on the best match that those two have ever had. Rhea Ripley versus Natalya, we'll throw that one in the garbage. And then Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes was also on that card. And Roman Reigns versus the Blood. I think it was Roman Reigns and Solo versus the Usos. And the Usos won, unless I'm thinking of Money in the Bank. I think I got that one wrong. But I know Roman Reigns was involved in this pay-per-view as well. I thought that was another good card, but I mean, I can't really think of any other names. Maybe Elimination Chamber in Montreal? See, now he got me thinking. Ian, what was your recommendation again?
It was AEW Full Gear.
Tuck, out of all those pay-per-views that we've listed off, do you have a favorite?
Nope, not yet. Like that pay-per-view of the year, and it needs more. I like kind of go
Dive
back and
into it.
watch. Yeah.
Put a pin in this one then for the 4th nominee,
Yes.
and we'll discuss it. So we know 3 out of the 4 are going to be WrestleMania, AEW Revolution, and WWE Backlash. So let's talk a little bit about the women's wrestlers of the year. I think number 1, off the top of my head, Becky Lynch.
I do have a correction
On
about
my
Night of
top 4.
Champions.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns and Solo faced off against Sami Zayn and KO.
Okay,
Oh, that's
so
right.
they did have the tag match. Gotcha.
Mhm.
So it was somewhat close, but Becky Lynch is the one that jumps off the page for me here, guys. Would we agree?
I would agree. She was not my first that popped into my head.
Who's your first?
Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley
Oh,
has
what
been
the
dominant. Yeah. That was
What
really
am I
confusing.
doing? I didn't even have her on my list. Never
What?
mind. Yeah, no, I brain fart. I apologize.
Some things you don't have to say on air.
I apologize to Mommy. She's in my Twitter picture and everything. So
Yeah, that's tough.
okay, we'll put Rhea and Becky and then for sure, correct?
Correct.
Tony Storm.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm glad Vogus. I think Vogus said it earlier for Breakout. I'm glad what you said. You said I think she already did Breakout, and it was kind of more of a comeback. And she was Wrestler of the Year and is still holding to it.
The only AEW women's talent that deserves to be in this. That's my take.
Not Sky Blue's butt.
No, I mean,
Okay.
that could be a separate category. So we have 3, and that was very easy. The last one, I struggle between 2 names. Io Sky, who cashed in and is still world champion, and Charlotte Flair. I just think everything Charlotte did, she did it very well. She didn't win any championships, but I thought she had some great matches. Were there any other names, Ian, that you had on there?
So I'm not going to say my last one that I had in my top 4 because you guys are going to probably kick me off the podcast. Because
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
Athena.
Willow Nightingale.
No, Athena. Actually, Willow Nightingale, if she would have kept her momentum, could have been Breakout. But anyway, Athena was in my top 4 as well. But I'll brush past that.
I just can't. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't
That's
do
fine.
it.
I understand that. That's.
I
on
get
Tony
your
Khan.
reasoning. Yeah, I was going to say, blame Tony for not
Yep.
putting Athena on TV. Zuck, if you had to choose between Io and Charlotte, which way do you lean?
Io.
That's
Title.
where I'm at,
Io as
Ian,
well.
unless you have another idea.
Something.
Io as
Great,
well.
great matches.
Io.
Jumping off shit, flying, running, doing crazy things. Io Sky, ladies and gentlemen.
That was easy, guys. So our 4 nominees for the Women's Wrestler of the Year, Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, Io Sky, and Timeless Tony Storm. Now to the men's.
It's gonna be difficult.
The men's. I think we all agree MJF should be on this list. He won it last year, so we should probably give him a spot, don't you think?
Run it back.
Yep.
Why not?
We're going to run it back with MJF. Tuck, give me a name. I'm putting you on the spot.
Cody Rhodes.
Agreed.
On mine.
Boom. There it is. All right.
Every story is compelling. Didn't even win
Right.
a title, but he's just in engaging feuds. He brings you along for the journey. Great on the mic. Great in the ring. Compelling comeback story. Love it.
Okay, so that was easy. We knocked out half the field. Let's bring in Vogus's comment. He says Will Ospreay. What do we think about that?
This is difficult because as an American viewer, I don't see a lot of Ospreay, but when I do see him, it is incredible. Incredible. I wish I could see him more, which hopefully he could be Wrestler of the Year next year. That's where
he was close for me, but I didn't see enough of him, and that's why he wasn't on my list. Tuck, are you okay with leaving Ospreay off the list?
He might win it next year.
Yes, I agree completely.
That's a great take right there, Tucky.
Can I say mine?
Yeah, go for it.
So, Gags, you have said this name before, and you said very early on, no, not the Rollins man. It is the Orange Cassidy man. The guy held that title for so long. Even if we can't pronounce the name of the title, that guy had made it into something special. And we saw him lose it that one night against Jon Moxley, but my God, was it a run. And the character development, he didn't even change his character at all. But it was entertaining. It was fun to watch. Almost every single AEW television or episode, he was opening up the show by defending the title and most likely winning it. So, Orange Cat.
I agree. And I think he is on the same level, not in ring or stardom, but work rate, showing up and delivering every time as Seth Rollins. Those were my last two guys. Mm-hmm. Seth Rollins and Orange Cassidy were the workhorses of their respective companies. Orange Cassidy always has a good match. Same with Seth Rollins. So for me, I had to throw those two names out there. But Robbie does throw out another name that we're not talking about. What about main event Jey Uso? Pivotal part of storylines. Very over. Got himself over as a single star.
He's the MVP of the bloodline, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'd agree.
But we convinced Robbie. He said Cassidy, MJF, Cody, and Seth.
See you, Jay.
So we're gonna knock Jay out of the.
Yeah, first one out. I think Gunther's the first one out.
Yeah,
Gunther
just
was
misses for
honorable.
me.
A lot of bangers out of that fella.
So you guys agree with me putting Orange Cassidy in over Gunther?
Correct. Gunther is my honorable.
It's tough because I guarantee you, Tuck. If we go back to last year, we were talking about how Gunther could win Male Wrestler of the Year this year.
You guys said he was going to dethrone Roman last year, or you said he was going to dethrone him this year, but last year.
Hey,
that was
we thought a lot of people were going to dethrone
Correct.
Roman.
Well, he's definitely higher ranked, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Robbie said the craziest thing about this is that the fact that we could be talking about Men's Wrestler of the Year and our big dog for WWE doesn't even get mentioned. Not my tribal chief. He shouldn't get mentioned. He wrestled 11 matches.
He's on another level. Like he's an untouchable superstar. Like he's like above Men's Wrestler of the Year. That's the way that WWE has like positioned him, in my opinion. Like,
I agree. Yeah. So, are we good with Seth Rollins and Orange Cassidy as the last two?
Yep.
There you go.
Stamp.
Man, that's an interesting four. So we got two from AEW, two from WWE, two guys in WWE that feuded, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And then on the AEW side, we have freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy and MJF. So we got most of the nominees settled in. We're going to discuss pay-per-view of the year and expanding match of the year, of course. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, guys. I'm very excited. We're going to be doing that show in 2 weeks. I'm not sure if we officially set a date. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I might be going out of town on a Thursday, so we might have to adjust a little bit, but we will get that announcement out to you guys very soon, but it definitely will be in 2 weeks, not next week. So we're at that point of the show where we have to award the most valuable mark of OTM. We had two guys hanging out with us for a majority of this episode. You know, Ryan Vogus, always in contention, the OG MVM of OTM, but there's a man that he got there early. He had hashtag OTMmies as the first comment, and he stayed till the very end. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is, and still MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. From the Turnbuckle Talk Zone, Robbie Collins.
What a guy.
That was a close one for me. I really had to make sure that we got this right because Vogus was providing a lot of good comments, only because he agreed with me.
Can I throw one category in here to the OTMmies?
No.
MVM of the year.
Ooh, I don't hate that.
Yeah, that's right.
Tuck, you're outvoted. I'm doing it on the last episode. No comment?
Yeah, all right. Like, what am I going to do then? Like,
I'll probably forget about it. Ian will too, because Ian always forgets about stuff. So
I won't remember.
I got a sneaky little patch collection brewing over here. I'm noticing. I have a Evil Uno patch. These are all from Pro Wrestling Crates. American Dragon Bryan Danielson. I got a Stinger.
Ooh.
FTR.
what's up, guys?
And Darby Allin.
Ooh, that Darby one's sick.
I don't know what to do with these patches.
Vogus wants to know why there's no meat match of the year.
I mean,
There's going to be so many categories, and I would have to have so many presenters.
it'd be so fun though. We can also
don't have to.
present.
I know. We will keep workshopping it, people. Well, I guess we could say it's a work in progress. The MVM says, hashtag OTME season, cannot wait. 3 hours of sleep from myself and still turning up week in and week out. Keep up the good work, boys. Same to you, Robbie, because episode 2 of the Turnbuckle Talk Zone is out right now, so make sure you check that out. Ian, any final remarks before we head on out?
Breaking down that list, there were a lot of categories that we had no idea. There were still a lot more. I mean, match of the year, there was an endless list. We're thinking about doing a March Madness bracket.
Gonna be tough.
Let's just give a shout out to this year of wrestling. As much as people hate on WWE versus AEW and vice versa, I mean, this year was incredible. I'm excited for where WWE takes themselves. I'm skeptical on where AEW takes themselves. But next year should be even better, if not just as good. But this is a great year, guys. And
Yes, it was.
for OTM?
Big year for OTM, and only bigger things coming, especially for us in the Main Event Wrestling Network. A lot of good stuff going down right there. A few more comments. Dirk Vogus asked, podcast next week? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No weeks off.
We'll see it.
Well, sometimes weeks off.
Ryan Vogus couldn't have said it better. Wrestling's great. I love wrestling too. Ian, do you love wrestling?
It's okay.
Tuck, you a big fan of wrestling?
Yeah, Ian stole my bit, dude. He stole my bit.
All right, you can still do it, Tucky. Please take us home, sir.
It's a great time to be a wrestling fan, am I right?
That's right.
Hey, visit onthemarkwrestlingpodcast.com. Get all your merch needs, including tapestries and defers. Enter code
Fuck you.
I hate him.
Enter code defer for 0% off, or enter code happy Ian and he'll Venmo you $5.
Oh,
yeah.
going to the website.
No. Yep. It's gonna be dope. Ian's happy Ian. So
Emo Ian's coming.
let's do it. I can't wait. I'm excited. I think we got to do a bracket. I think we can do a bracket. I'm just saying.
If you think you can make the
16.
bracket, Tuck, I will do the bracket.
I do think it's a bit where we have to set our top 4. Those become the 1 seeds, and then we work. I think you can make each region have like one WWE match, one AEW match, or
women's match.
Yep. So
okay, we're on to something. I think
that gives you a different way to look at it. I don't know. It'll be fun.
All right, take us home.
The legal matters on this too much for Ian to handle. I'm sorry. I was reading. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
It's because I talked about you trying to have them buy something on the website, which we can't legally sell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's the beginning of the show.
Yeah,
an hour ago.
And he will take his $5 from you, Ian. By the way.
No, thank you.
Hey,
It'd be a good day at the casino.
Drop your Venmos in the chat. Ian will be working after the pod to get you your 5 smackers. Ladies and gentlemen, until next week, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling
Podcast.